I'd like to start the video off by talking about jobs. I want to talk about jobs. I know you're wondering, why are we talking about jobs? Just stick with me. We're going to talk about jobs for just a little bit. And the reason why we are talking about jobs has everything to do with the whole concept. Now, jobs, many of us get them not because we apply directly on a website or that we fill out an application, but typically we are hooked up with someone that knows someone that gets us an interview, and we can get them hired more directly. That's because of our network. You know somebody, and that person introduces you to people that typically you would not have access to. Stick with me. Now, networks don't just work for business. They work for other things too. Black women, for example, they have a pretty good business network. They talk about where to get your nail done. They have concerts and they have certain things, award stuff that they build through their professional network to introduce other black women to each other. But a lot of times when we talk about black women and getting in relationships with bad black men or dusty black men, we never figure out how they meet these guys. Now, yes, there are dating apps. Yes, guys approach you at the club in the mall and you meet guys like this. Yeah, you might meet a guy at work. But do you know that there are a lot of black women who meet a terrible guy through their girlfriend? Through their girlfriend. This is interesting. You mean to tell me that black women introduce other black women to terrible guys through their network? Absolutely. And you're going to look for proof, right? I understand that. Well, let's just take this guy, DJ Kid. A man who is said to have had sex with over 700 women, supposedly given HIV or AIDS to others. And these women, a lot of times, were underage. And so, well, how did he meet some of those girls? Well, they're friends. In many cases. Or at least some cases that were talked about, rather. Let me not misspeak. Took their friends and introduced them to this guy. So pretty much, he didn't have to do anything. Girls were bringing him other girls. See, here are some of the things that we talk about in the black community that go unspoken for, because a lot of times sisters want to play 100% victims of the time. And don't get me wrong, they are victims. But they also understand that a lot of situations happen because of their friends. So, you're a single mom, you have a daughter. The daughter doesn't get along with the mom. I talked about that before. What happens? Well, if she doesn't hang out with a guy, she goes and hang out with her other friend. And what does the friend do? Girl, I'm bored. Yeah, I'm bored too. Girl, these is niggas I know that we can hang out with. Really? Yeah. Well, do you know him? I know one of them. He got a friend. So the girl introduced her friend to a guy that she don't even know. Want to know how some of these girls end up in bad sexual situations? Want to know how some of these girls end up drunk, taken advantage of? Want to know how? A lot of girls end up in bad situations because of their friends. There are some times when I know girls who got stranded. And if you're a woman, you know this happened to you before. You go someplace with some, girl has some dude. She got you over there with a guy that you uncomfortable with. You want to leave. She don't want to leave. So you end up having to walk home or having to catch the bus or something like that because you don't want to be there with this nigga. And then you done fell out with her and arguing with her because she got you out here with a dusty dude that can do anything to you because she just needed somebody to hang out with because the other dude homeboy didn't have nobody to hang with. So now she over there. You see, we got to understand, I've seen this before. You want to know who really has a lot of bad influence on a lot of young black women? I'm going to just be honest. And guys know this. A lot of times y'all think it's us. Brothers are ruining black women. And, there's a case to that. But do you know what I found out? You know who can really ruin a lot of chicks? Other women. Other women introduce other women into things that they typically didn't do. Drugs, parties, dressing different. I know one girl, man. I swear this is true. She was such a nice girl. She started hanging out with this one chick within a year. That girl was completely different. You talking about Facebook statuses and drug use and everything. It had nothing to do with guys. This girl's lifestyle that she was friends with led her down a whole nother path. A lot of times girls get in prostitution because of other girls. A lot of times we don't talk about this because we want to always blame the guys. But see, a good reality is a lot of women are suffering because of their friends. See, y'all don't want to talk about this. You know how many times you'll have a dude, girl want to stay out. Look, baby, you need to go home, okay? Or you need to, your mama looking for you, or I don't care. You try to tell the girl to go home, stay out. You know what I'm saying? You got to go to work in the morning. You should go to sleep. Nah, I'm cool. But on the other hand, it'd be girls. Girl, I got to go to work. That's okay, girl. You can stay out all night. It's cool. You can party a little bit longer. Y'all don't know. It'd be good brothers telling the women, man, listen, baby, look. You got to go to work in the morning. Let me take you home so you got to be to work at 8 o'clock. I want you to get some rest. I want you to, I don't want you to be out here all night, all cold and stuff. Let me take you home, baby. Let's go home. Go home because you got to be to work in the morning. You have to, okay. But them girls, they be wanting to party all night. No, you can stay out. It's okay, boo. You can stay out a little bit longer. Let's just hang out a little bit. Next thing you know, it's 5, 6, 7 in the morning. Then spend all your money up and all that stuff. Man, this is a situation too. And if we're going to be fair about it, these women also introduce other women into dangerous situations, dangerous guys, And yes, I'll be the first to admit there are bad dudes out there, creeps, dangerous guys. But how many times are we going to let people off the hook? And also dysfunctional people. I'm not saying all women are dysfunctional, but in black urban ghettos, black urban cities, black urban environments. Okay. People who are dysfunctional hang out together. Same thing with black boys. Black boys have bad influences on other black boys. But everybody can point that out though, right? Mama tell you, don't you be hanging out with that boy. We'll admit that. How many of us want to admit that young black women have an effect on other young black women that also lead their lives into astray, lead their lives into despair, lead their lives into dangerous situations? Young women are ruining one another in many cases. And then when they get involved with a guy that sometimes they're introduced to, then the young women want to sit back. Oh, man, I can't believe he did it to her. What you mean? You hooked him up with her. I wish I would have never. You'll hear him always say, I wish I would have never introduced them together. Well, yeah, you knew he was nothing. You knew he was bad for her. You knew he was a nobody. So why did you introduce him to her? You knew he was no good. All at the funeral crying and big eyeing and all that. Stop playing. Young women got to stay. Women in general, stop introducing people to bad people. So guys, listen, shout out to everybody watching the video. Subscribe, hit the bell, like the video. brothers, I really appreciate what you guys are doing. All my contact information is at the top of the post here, pinned to the top. And as you know, the buffoonery remains at an all-time high. Subscribe, and I'm out.